Conjunctions. Now, as we learned in the first lesson, conjunctions are connecting words. And when we talk about all of these parts of speech, we're going to focus on two aspects. One, what do we want to know? And two, what do we want to be able to do? So the first thing with conjunctions that we want to know the definition, which we already talked about. Words that connect, words, phrases, and clauses. And the function in the sentence, of course, is to connect. And we need to know that there are three main types, or there are three types. And the first is called coordinating conjunctions. And these are very, very common. We use them all the time. They're the easiest to learn. The second is called correlative conjunctions. And these we use less often, but they're easy to identify because they always work in pairs. And the third type is subordinating conjunctions. So the coordinating conjunctions connect things of equal value, and there are a very small number of them. We can remember the coordinating conjunctions through the acronym BOYSFAN. The B stands for but, the O for or, the Y for yet, the S for so, the F for for, the A for and the N for nor. And you can practice the jingle to help remember BOYSFAN in the webpage section of jingles. So these coordinating conjunctions connect things of equal value. And when you use these coordinating conjunctions with a comma, you can connect independent clauses, which we'll talk about more later when we're discussing clauses. But these are very common, and it's the easiest way to connect sentences and improve your writing. Correlative conjunctions always work in pairs. They are also connecting things of equal value, or relatively equal value. So an example would be either or neither nor. And so you can find these and identify them because there are two, and they function together. The final type of conjunction is subordinating. And subordinating conjunctions are not equal. They show a dependence between the things being connected. So in a subordinating conjunction relationship, one of the things is more important. So if you connect two sentences and one of those two sentences or clauses is dependent on the other, you're going to end up with a subordinating conjunction. If you understand conjunctions, you can write better sentences. The word if is a subordinating conjunction, and it makes that part of the sentence dependent on the second part. And you'll be able to practice these and see them in the exercises section. So when we're trying to figure out what to do, the first thing we check is BOYSFAN. So if we're trying to figure out what type of conjunction it is, we check BOYSFAN. If it's one of those words, we know it's coordinating. And then we can do certain things like connect clauses with a comma, or we have a list of things that are of equal value, and it's probably the last thing in the list, or a contradiction in the sentence. And then, if it's not a BOYSFAN, we look for the pairs, and we check for pairs. And if there are pairs, if there are two, just as there are two R's in the middle of the correlative word, the word correlative, then we know that it is also an issue of equal value, and it's a correlative conjunction. So we remember those two R's, and it helps us remember that correlative conjunctions work in pairs. And then we check for whatever's left. The rest of the conjunctions are subordinating. So when we're trying to figure it out, for whatever reason, whether your teacher is asking you to, or you need to make sure you've correctly punctuated something, or that you have the correct relationship, we check BOYSFAN and check our pairs. If neither works, a subordinate is there. So this is a hint in helping you identify the types of conjunction. Check BOYSFAN, then check our pairs. If neither works, a subordinate is there. And that way you can more quickly and accurately identify the types of conjunctions. Now, as with many of the lessons, there is a note here at the end. If you don't understand this completely now, you will understand it later after going through more of the lessons. And that is that relative pronouns and conjunctive adverbs also connect, and they connect clauses. So a common error is that students will identify that something is connecting a word, is connecting two independent clauses or what looks like two sentences, and assume that it's a conjunction. But it's really a relative pronoun. And I noticed that I forgot my N in pronouns, so you will come across a few of those little minor errors. Feel free to point them out. And now we'll go on to adverbs.